All right, so video number 2 in this series on online harm defamation. I'm going to give you a real world example of a case I prosecuted just a couple of years ago where a woman engaged in a campaign of attacking my client over and over again. These online statements, these doctored, outrageous photographs, these fake reviews, these statements all over social media, all over the internet, that just destroyed this woman's career. And what I did was the client was very organized. This is a key step in what you need to do to bring a successful case. The client came to me and she had produced many of these statements. She had gone through the time and the trouble of screenshotting every single one of these statements and then making sure that the identity of the person making the statements was real. And then she went underneath each one of the statements and provided a description about how the statement was demonstrably false. That's one of the most important things about defamation, libel, slander is that, sometimes buried within that paragraph of reviews, there's some opinion stuff that may not be actionable. But my job is to be able to identify the absolutely actionable statements in there, the straight up defamation, libel, slander. That is actionable. So again, I had an organized client that came in. I was able to draft a really good lawsuit and get that thing filed, get it moving along. The interesting thing about this case is while that case was pending, the defendant continued to make these outrageous statements. She just continued on and on and on, and it made the conduct worse. So I moved for punitive damages. The punitive damages claim was awarded by the court. And the bottom line is this individual got hit with a really significant judgment. And that significant judgment was absolutely collected. That's another key issue in defamation and whether you should actually bring a case is the person actually even collectible? Many cases they are. And so that's part of the analysis at the front end. If we're going to spend the time, we're going to spend the money to sue somebody, are we going to collect from them? So in this particular case, very unusual, got this big fat judgment out there, and then this person had done all kinds of other crazy stuff. So she had a house, big fat house worth a lot of money, and we were able to go and have that house sold in order to satisfy that judgment. So there's a practical example of how when defamation hurts a business, hurts an individual, there can be very real consequences in terms of money damages to the wrongdoer, the defendant in these cases. So if you've got an example of bad reviews, malicious things against a business, against a kid, against an individual, print up those examples, then make the statements in there about why the statements are false, and then let us review them. Let's see whether that's a case we can bring to help recover damages for you. MyDefamationFirm.com, or like and subscribe here. We'll see what we can do to help you.